The Intermat exhibition is held every 3 years in Paris, and it's one of the bigger construction equipment exhibitions. This year some of the big names like Caterpillar, Saini, Manitowoc and JCB were missing, but still there was plenty to see. Starting at the entrance there was an interesting display of models, and that included a giant Liebherr LR1750 crawler crane. There were also a number of larger remote control models on display, and here we have one that's merrily unloading a barge. Moving into the exhibition halls, and Komatsu had a big stand. The machines all look nice, and many of the bigger makers also have a merchandise shop. And Komatsu's shop had plenty of models for sale, including this new one, which is a PW148 wheeled excavator, and it appears to be made by Universal Hobbies. For some reason or other there was a man playing a piano. And moving on, the Volvo stand was also large. As usual, you could climb up and get into the machines if you wanted to, but if you wanted to splash the cash there were models on sale, and among the new stuff on offer was the L60H wheel loader and the EC220E excavator. Both are by Motorar, as is the new EW180E wheeled excavator. One nice touch at the show is that there was a stand devoted to the historic French excavator manufacturer Poclane. In addition to the models on sale, there was a nice big model on display, and a number of the real machines were also on display, and they were all fully restored. And that includes this big Poclane 400 face shovel. Seeing some of these old machines really makes you want to dance about. Yes, okay, thank you, that's great. In the case shop there was the Case 856C grader from Motorart, and the CX250D long reach from Conrad. It and its smaller brother seem to be rebadged versions of older models. Great, yes, thank you, that's enough dancing, thank you so much. One of the big French model dealers, Le Boule Jaune, also had a big stand, and it was quite interesting to look at because there were a lot of older models, some of which would be quite hard to find. In addition to the cat models there was a whole selection of excavator attachments from Gaz Evans, and if you had really deep pockets you could also go for one of the large remote control excavators that was on the stand. But if you need to ask the price, you probably can't afford it. Wirtgen always have a big budget for displays at exhibitions, and this one was no different, with plenty of machines on display. There weren't any new Wirtgen models announced at the exhibition, but the fan shop was running a good line in heavily discounted models, so there was the chance to pick up some good models at very reasonable prices. One of the good things about Intermat is that there were a number of areas where full-size machines could be seen working, and so it's good if you don't ordinarily get the chance to see some machines working back home. Occasionally some of the tricks are a bit extreme, but they are interesting. On the Bomag stand there were 3 models listed as new, although the chip sealing truck looks like having a detail level going back to models of the 1960s. Also declared as new was a Bomag roller. If you don't get the chance to drive the real machine you can now use simulators, and there were a number at the exhibition that all looked like fun to drive. Yes, okay, alright, thank you, enough's enough, enough is enough. There were some big Hitachi machines on show, including this 870, and it looked like there was one interesting new model in the Hitachi shop. Just look at the detail level on that, and all for such a reasonable price too. Notabroom have always had a big range of scale models of their trailers, and their model shop at the show was professional. There were a couple of new releases from Tonkin of their multi-PX trailer, This one with a Scania in the colour of McFadden's, and also a Scania in the Redline version. And if neither of those grabbed your attention, you could always go and grab a grab and do some grabbing with a grab. Anyway, enough nonsense, let's get back to some real stuff. No. Going back outside, it was good to see a Bobcat loader going through its paces. And if you like to see some full penetration, you can always see a pile being vibrated in. Or if you prefer to have your rocks crushed, there's an add-on attachment that will do that too. Over in the Doosan display area, things were getting out of control, and I suppose it always is a problem not knowing quite where to tip your bucket. Also being demonstrated was a new technique to see if the ADT had been loaded or not. Once you've checked that there is some load capacity left, then you can get on and load it. One of the bigger stands inside was of the Korean manufacturer Hyundai. It was certainly a professional and expensive looking stand, and in the fan shop there were a number of larger scale models, and again they had some aggressive show pricing. In fact, if you turn up at Intermat with some money in your wallet, there were plenty of opportunities to swap cash for models. Please, how many more times? Haven't you got anything better to do? Liebherr is another company with a very big marketing budget, and on its big stand was the R960 demolition excavator. This is a brand new machine and it certainly looks big and impressive, and an impressive part of the machine is the array of hydraulic pipes and hoses. It's certainly a big and interesting machine, and it was good to see that the Liebherr shop had a model of it available. This is a brand new 1:50 scale model by Conrad, and it includes the excavator arm with it as well. And it also looks to have a very good level of detail, including all of those hydraulics. It is a large model, and it also looks like the crusher tool at the end of the stick is removable. Another interesting exhibit at the show was this award-winning lift, which fits inside a tower crane mast. It doesn't look particularly large, but you can fit 2 people inside it. And certainly from the point of view of an operator of a very tall tower crane, it avoids climbing up all of those ladders. Another machine on display was this Liebherr R926 excavator, and it has a compact body shape, and again there are lots of hydraulic details. This one has also been produced by Conrad as a brand new model, and it was also on display inside the Liebherr shop. For something different, here's another model on display at the Liebherr stand, and it's a tower crane which seems to be made of glass. Overall, there was plenty to see at Intermat. Although some of the big names were missing, there's certainly enough for a good day out. But if you want to go large, then next year it's the Bauma exhibition in Munich, and that certainly is a big exhibition.